Oh, level 5, you never fail to amaze me. Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Botox Games, and today we are recapping the level 5 vision from this morning, the long-awaited level 5 event. This was supposed to happen back in April, but we finally got it. We got our new Yokai Watch game announced. Kind of. We got new release dates and release windows for a lot of games like Fantasy Life and Decapolice and Professor Layton, so we'll be talking about all of that and more in today's video. Of course, subscribe here for more level 5 news and updates as well as general Nintendo coverage. Let's get into it. Alrighty, good Tuesday morning to you all. If you are watching this on a Tuesday morning, we just had our level 5 vision, the one that was supposed to air in April, if you recall, but actually got delayed. It was originally announced in November, and alongside that November announcement, they teased a new Yokai Watch game. And we finally had it. It's been almost a year, but we finally got the presentation we've been waiting for with a lot of release windows and some new teases for some new games, which is exciting. And I will say, before I get negative, because I'm about to rip a new one into level 5 here, all of the games look fantastic. Like, everything they're showing here, I really want to play. And I understand game development takes time, but level 5 might be one of the most mismanaged companies I have ever seen. They announced so many of these games way too early. And frankly, even though we did get a lot of release windows in the showcase, we have no reason to believe these release windows. We really have no reason to believe them. So many of these games have been delayed not once, not twice, not even 3 times. Some of them have been delayed more than 4 times at this point. And listen, I get it. Game development takes time. You don't want to release an underbaked game. I totally get that. But at a certain point, it becomes not just a game development issue. It becomes a management issue and a marketing issue. These games should have never been announced. With that being said, it did start off with a new trailer for Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time. I am very excited for this game. Of course, it was supposed to come out in 2023, then it got delayed to 2024, early 2024, and then it got a date for October 10th, so it's now delayed to April 2025. That is when this game is supposedly coming out. I really hope that ends up sticking. I hope that is the case. I was hoping after they delayed it from October, it would be a little bit sooner. Like, this would be a great January game. April, I worried. There's normally just a lot of games that come out in April, right? January would have been the perfect time for this. I just, assume there's going to be a lot of stuff happening in April. I feel like that's normally when, a lot of the bigger third parties release their games March, April in that time frame. But we have a release window now, April 2025. We'll see if that sticks. The new trailer looks great. It kind of goes more into some story stuff. They also show, I don't know if this was confirmed, but you can just kind of pick up a controller and do local multiplayer, which is awesome. So I'm even more excited for this game now than I was before, because this is going to be a great game to play with my girlfriend, someone who doesn't really play games that often, but also just kind of a cozy little action, lighthearted RPG will be great for us to play together. So very excited for Fantasy Life I did not really play the 3DS game that much. I always really wanted to get into it, but I kind of just missed the boat. I think I was busy playing Pokemon X and Y at the time or something, right? Like, that's all I could focus on back then. So excited to jump into Fantasy Life I when it hopefully releases in April. And yeah, the new story stuff looks interesting. The time travel stuff is interesting for the plots. And yeah, I think this game looks great. Next up, they showed what is by far the most in-depth look we've had at Professor Layton in the New World of Steam so far. Really kind of setting up the story and the world and the setting. This whole super advanced Steam-based society somewhere in America, as well as the seemingly main villain, the gunman King Joe, is the ghostly apparition kind of main villain of this game, which is interesting. They're also touting that this game has the most puzzles of any Professor Layton game, of course being done by Quiznok. So hopefully these puzzles are better than the 3DS games, right? I know Miracle Mask and then especially Azure Legacy, that's where it kind of started to fall off. And then with Catriel on 3DS, people also didn't like that one too much. So I'm hoping the puzzle design is more in line with what we had with the original, I would even say 4 games, maybe even Miracle Mask included in that, right? But this game is looking better than ever. It looks fantastic. We got some voice acting in there, of course, Japanese voice acting. So I'll be curious to see if they bring back the English cast for this game. Level 5 has been kind of releasing games on a budget recently. They haven't really had any big localizations with English voice casts on their own, I think, actually ever. So I really hope they're able to get the original VO for Layton and Luke in there, as well as the rest of the characters, of course. So yeah, this game looks fantastic. I think it is actually playable at TGS this year, so we'll probably get some more hands-on impressions from people that are in Japan right now for TGS. So yeah, this game looks absolutely fantastic. Next up, we need to talk about Decapolice. This is the new IP they've been promoting for the past 2 years, and I am once again very excited for this. I think this game looks fantastic. Reading a bit about the game here, Decapolice occurs in Broadstone, a city of dreams and opportunity, but crime runs rampant here. However, detectives pursue the truth and use a virtual space called a Decaism for training. Further, what happens here can be used as clues to help solve crimes in reality. To discover intricate truths about incidents, you can attack criminals' minds for information, with their unlawful acts manifesting as crime beasts. But an unknown hacker working for a powerful organization has transformed the character data into toys, causing the cast's appearances to alter into this weird, kind of furry looking aesthetic this game has going on here. Harvard Marks is the main character assigned to Broadstone's police center as a rookie detective in the Special Investigations Unit. A notable serial killer known as the Clown will be hunted, the worst the world has ever seen. Alongside this information, they also said they were working to improve the game's visuals, and I actually think I think I did notice that, while watching the trailer. I was watching it on my phone, but I was like, wow, this game actually looks a decent amount better, and there might be a good reason for that. Decapolice is not releasing until 2026. Yeah. So this game was originally supposed to release in 2023. They announced it February 2023 in that Nintendo Direct, if you remember. And they said, hey, it's coming out in 2023. It now has a broad window of 2026. They also announced they're doing an anime for it, which is partly why maybe it's being held for so long. But also, yes, that they're improving the graphics and improving the experience, right? But it sounds like the game might even be content complete, but they're just holding it to kind of polish it up to the absolute maximum. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. I know I have a lot of Switch 2-brained people in my audience. Maybe, right? If they're improving the graphics, if they're holding it back to improve graphics, maybe it is because they want to have this thing launch on Switch 2. We know it's coming to Switch. It's still confirmed for Switch, PS4, and PS5. But I don't know. I mean, I think it's definitely possible that Switch 2 might be playing a part in this game's massive, massive delay. Because, I mean, that is a 3-year delay. Assuming it doesn't get pushed further. That is insane. I'm very excited for this game, but man, it's hard to keep that excitement and that momentum going. I mean, I was supposed to be done with this game a year ago, and yet here we are, and I'm not going to be playing it for probably another 2 at least, which is just kind of unbelievable, honestly. Next up, they showed a November update for Megatime Musashi Wired. This looks pretty cool, just a new PvP mode. It seems like it's a bit simpler to jump into PvP with this new mode, because before you'd have to customize your mech and really kind of spec it out so you can maximize and actually do something online against other people who have maxed out mechs. In this, it's more like a simple PvP where you just select a mech and everybody kind of has the same stats, so it's easier to jump in, basically, which is a good addition. There's also some new crossover characters, so that's cool. Not too much to say on that. Then we have Inazuma 11. This is by far the most in-depth they went on any of the games, which makes sense because I think Inazuma 11 next to Yokai Watch and Professor Layton is probably their third pillar, right, I would say. So people are very excited for this game. Once again, another game that if you are not familiar with, this game was announced in 2016. Yes. Inazuma 11 Victory Road, or as it was known at the time, Aris or RS. This was announced in 2016, was supposed to come out, I think, in 2018, and here we are with a new release date of June 2025. So it is coming, and hopefully, with the feedback they got from the network test that lasted basically all summer, hopefully it actually sticks that landing and sticks to a June 2025 release date. We will see. I've never played an Inazuma 11 game. I think it looks great, though. I've never, I'm not too into, soccer or football, right? But I think this game looks good. And every time I see more of it, I'm just like, wow, they really... I mean, there's a lot to this game. There's this whole town building part where you can kind of build your own Inazuma 11 world, which is crazy. There's so much in this game that, you just... At least for me, as someone who doesn't know too much about the franchise, I wouldn't expect all this to be in a soccer game, right? But, I mean, they seem to be really going above and beyond. And, my negativity for the release dates aside, I once again want to reiterate... All of these games look fantastic. They all look like the games I want to see from level 5. It's just, it's taken a little bit longer than I think any of us expected, or even level 5 expected to get them to us. So, I don't know, man. If they need the time to polish these games up and really make sure they're ready, then so be it. I just wish they hadn't announced so many of them so early. That February 2023 Direct gets worse as time goes on, as these games keep getting delayed. I mean, that was a February 2023 Direct that announced a game releasing in 2026. That's kind of crazy if you think about it. But yeah, Inazuma 11 Victory Road looking fantastic. Excited for that coming out next June. Worldwide release, also worth noting. They did specify it as a simultaneous worldwide release, which is a pretty big deal, especially for America, who, I mean, we really have never gotten Inazuma 11 here, at least not in any consistent form, right? I think there might have been some on the eShop, digitally only. But yeah, that's a pretty big deal. But that wasn't the only Inazuma 11 announcement, because they actually announced they are remaking the first game from the 3DS, which I think this looks very cool, very stylish. Once again, this is for hardcore Inazuma 11 fans. I am not one of those, but I can appreciate a good-looking remake when I see it, and I think this looks very cute and very charming, and this is releasing in 2026, so once again, another game releasing in 2026. The platforms are confirmed to be Switch, PS5, PS4, and Steam, so there you go. It is a Switch game, once again, just like Decapolice releasing in 2026, so it's just crazy that we're all talking about Switch 2, and here we are with this level 5 Vision showcase, and we're getting multiple titles confirmed, not for next year, but the year after for the Switch. So Switch will be getting support for many years to come, and I mean, this is pretty significant support, I would say, from a very prominent Japanese third party. But then the final announcement, and this is the meat of the video, this is the main thing I want to talk about, is the new Yokai Watch game. Except it's not really Yokai Watch, but it is. I mean, it is Yokai Watch, but they're doing some something very weird with the branding for this game that I think is an absolute awful decision. So they introduced it by saying this is the next Yokai Watch concept, which immediately scared me, because if Decapolice was announced and it wasn't a concept, and Inazuma 11 wasn't a concept, and you know, Professor Layton wasn't a concept when they were announced, and those games were announced 2-3 years early, them announcing a Yokai Watch game and saying Yokai Watch next concept or whatever with no release window is horrifying, because who knows when this game will come out. They don't even have platforms for it announced, as we'll get to, which I think means Switch 2, but that means this game is probably 2027 at the earliest, maybe 2028 at the rate we're going. Good God, why did they announce it? So yeah, this is a new game called Holy Horror Mansion. They actually showed quite a bit of it, to be fair. Even though they introduced it as a concept for the next Yokai Watch game, it is a pretty meaty trailer, I would say, for what is the next Yokai Watch game. This is the next Yokai Watch game. It is the evolution of the Yokai Watch series, but it does not have Yokai Watch in the name. Jibanyan is not in this trailer, but regardless, it is technically the next Yokai Watch game, and I hope they understand and change it before it releases. You know, this is going to be releasing several years from now. I hope they realize and change before it releases the name. Holy Horror Mansion is fine, I guess, whatever, but that would be equivalent to Nintendo releasing a new Zelda game and calling it Fantasyland. Yokai Watch is a very big franchise. In fact, it is the most successful level 5 franchise. This goes to the whole thing I'm talking about with their marketing and management. Why would you think it is a good decision to drop the name of Yokai Watch from the new Yokai Watch game, what is essentially going to be Yokai Watch 5, right? Or a reboot of the franchise, even if you want to call it that. It's the return to Yokai Watch that people have been waiting for 7 years, 8 years? It's been a while since Yokai Watch 4 came out on the Switch. We've been waiting for this for so long. You don't put Yokai Watch in the name. From a marketing standpoint, that seems like that is one of the most boneheaded decisions I've ever seen from a company. Yokai Watch is their most popular IP. Why would they get rid of the name? It just does not make sense. So I really hope they put Yokai Watch in the title. Maybe it could be called Yokai Watch subtitle Holy Horror Mansion or something, but not calling it Yokai Watch, even though in this presentation they're saying it is the next Yokai Watch concept. Very, very weird to me. Also, the trailer is crazy. They have like all these dances and concepts in here, including the pineapple pin guy. Remember that meme from like 2013, 2014? Yeah, that's in here for some reason. And there's all these other dances from, so I assume other meme people or artists, dancers. I have no idea. But the actual game looks good. It visually looks very good. And, you know, the gameplay looks... It's definitely different, right? It is going to be a different type of game, but it's still going to be rooted in those ghosts or those yokai, although they actually don't say yokai anywhere in the trailer, which is crazy. But yeah, this game looks pretty cool. It seems like it might be a bit more based on taking pictures of yokai than before, because there's this kid finding a camera in like his attic or whatever, so it seems like taking pictures is going to be a big focus in this game. And then they show that you actually are, like, creating ghosts, so you have, like, schematics, and then you take household parts, like bottle caps and pens and stuff, and then that's how you make yokai, so it's almost like a fusion kind of thing going on. I'll be very curious to see how this actually works in-game, and once we see more of the mechanics. And we do also see a quick glimpse of combat, or whatever the turn-based combat will be in this game. I'm not sure if it's going to be the exact same as it was in the other games, but we do see a screen of the initial yokai or ghost that they teased back in November. We do see them finding another ghost with health bars, so it's not just going to be taking pictures and building yokai. There will actually be combat. I know that sounds like a silly thing for me to comment on, but considering they're rebooting the franchise, I guess it really wasn't a given, honestly. And then the trailer ends with supported platforms secrets. Release date unknown. So I think that might be one of the biggest pieces of news from this trailer, because that means it's probably not a Switch game. Like, maybe if they can get it running on Switch later on, if the Switch is still selling well, maybe they'll decide, okay, you know what, it's still worth it to release it on the old hardware by the time this releases in 2030 or whatever, right? But I think that is pretty clearly them just being like, yeah, this is a Switch 2 game. And I think there's still a good chance that the April event was delayed because they thought Switch 2 would be announced at that point, and then at this point now they're just like, okay, well, we need to market our other games. We might as well just go ahead and tease it or something, because saying secret platforms, you're not hiding it from anybody. Everybody knows this is a Switch 2 game, and to be fair, probably PS5 as well, right? But definitely a Switch 2 game, right? They also announced that Holy Horror Mansion will be another cross-media project for them, and that they'll be hosting a cross-media showcase for the game in spring of 2025, so we'll see more next year. Hopefully that event doesn't get delayed like the April event was this year, but that is it for the Level 5 showcase. It's a lot of games I'm very excited to play. They all look extremely high quality. I just wish they hadn't announced them until they were closer. That is really my main gripe with all this, because some of these games were just announced way too early. I mean, even Professor Layton being announced 2 years early is frankly too much for a game like that, but Decapolice being announced 3 years early at minimum by the time it releases is just... that's just egregious, man. Either way, though, definitely some exciting announcements from Level 5's Vision TGS showcase this morning. Let me know down in the comments below which of the games they showed you are most excited for. I think for most people watching this video in particular, it will probably be Professor Layton still, but maybe it'll be Holy Horror Mansion. I'm not sure if I have a lot of covert Yokai Watch fans still from back when I made 3DS videos over here. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff coming, just very far away still. But that is going to do it for today's video. Of course, subscribe here, comment down below, follow me on Twitter, follow my other channel, link down below, and until next time, folks, peace.